Hollywood. Sorry. Hello, everyone. We are live, and my microphone forgot. And
Hi.
how are you?
Fine. How are you?
Not bad. It's been a rough week at work. Well, not a rough week, a rough day. It was a crazy day today. It's the kind of day where there's more work than usual and less people than usual. So you end up with twice the workload, and it's a good thing it doesn't last for very long. Like I keep telling my bosses, I don't mind doing that kind of stuff for 1 day, 2 days, like maximum a week, but then like you need to rest because it's just too much. When you don't know if you're gonna have time to eat or if you're gonna even have time to go home at night, it's getting to the point where it's a little bit too much. But it never gets really never gets that bad. But so we'll take a few seconds to say hello to everyone in the chat. I saw Gardening Warrior Q here. I am one. Sorry, just a sec. I am one video away from qualifying for Shed Wars, and that video is hopefully gonna get filmed this weekend and come out at the beginning of next week. And at this point, I will keep my numbers to myself. Marilyn, you know.
I'm in the secret.
Yeah. Let's just say that I am close to what I was hoping to get. I am on pace anyway to be there. And I'm pretty sure, like, there's no way I can't make it. I mean, I have the stuff coming in, and I get about, at this time of year, anywhere between 10 and 20 pounds per day for the last 2-3 weeks. That's how it's been.
That's great.
Yeah. And you should see my my kitchen. I don't know if I can show you the picture. Let's see. So this week we blanched, my girlfriend and I, and the kids helped a little bit. We blanched about, let me check. I'll give you the exact number instead of just guessing. We blanched about 30 pounds of beans.
Wow.
And we froze about, I have 90 pounds of squash total.
For now.
There's a couple that I picked in the past couple of days, so they're still good. And okay, let's see if I can show the picture.
Yeah, we can see it a little.
I wonder if I maybe closer, you can see better.
Yes. Oh, great.
So I have tomatoes and peppers up there. These are a few squash. Oh, you can't see properly.
Well,
And
we can see.
Squash there, as you can see.
Yeah.
Though I say squash, but I have a bunch of zucchinis as well. On the second counter, it's actually a few apples. You can't see.
Okay. Well, the yellow thing?
Yeah, those are apples. We were driving to my new spot, my daughter and I saw this big yellow, and I knew it was an apple, big yellow thing, and I knew it was an apple. So I turned around. I told my daughter, I said, let's go and see at what point they are. And they're not ripe yet. They will be in, my guess is anywhere between 2-3 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
They were kind of sour a little bit. But I ate them anyway. Like, I mean, they're not going to go to waste. We can cook them and make something out of them. They were pretty nice apples. I'm going to keep on going. Cam Joy Farms, checking in from Louisiana. Thank you very much for dropping by. Patrick is here with the popcorn. Lynn is here as well. Hello, Lynn. Thank you all for dropping by. Joe is here. Hello. I started talking to Marilyn this morning about this live stream. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do. And Marianne gave me the idea of making a video about squash because she knows in the last couple of days I harvested and froze a lot of squash. So today, my goal is tonight, my goal is to get you guys in the chat, or even if you want to come on panel, like
Mhm.
Marianne, share your recipes, share different ways to cook or eat squash. Personally, I love squash. My girlfriend thinks I'm obsessed with them, and it's all because of Chris from Hickory Crop Farm.
All his fault.
All his fault. But seriously, though, like, it's good. I eat it raw. I cook it in the pan. I fry it in the pan. I cook it in the oven. Everything I've done with them so far, I love it. So if I can find some more recipes, some more different things to do, I also have a few zucchinis. Last year, I made a recipe of it was fried zucchini. It
Yeah.
was pretty good. It just takes a long time to get going. Marilyn sent me a recipe for zucchini chips.
Yeah.
This is something I want to try. But beside that, I'm out of ideas. I love it really, really much. I would heat it just raw, straight up, just like that. Thing is, after a while, you get bored, and I still want to preserve it somehow. So
And
anyone
yeah,
has,
people,
yeah,
the Remy's problem is he don't have any more space in his freezers, so he needs something that won't take too much space, or can it, or something else.
when I did my turkeys 2 weeks ago, I called my mom
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, do you have space in your freezer for about two turkeys?" She's like, "Yeah, sure, bring them over." So I brought them there, and I mean, we're gonna eat one turkey at Thanksgiving anyway for the whole family. Um, and then this week I was doing my beans and my squash, a couple of zucchinis. I went downstairs to try to put some stuff in the freezer, and the freezer wouldn't shut. Just I couldn't close it. It was full, so I had to take a few things out. I called my mom. I said, "Look, I'm really busy freezing stuff, blanching stuff, vacuum sealing, and like we're
Mhm.
probably gonna go to bed around 11:30. Can you just come and grab a few things, please, and bring them in your freezer, and we'll go pick it up at some point later on." And my mom, being my mom, I mean, of course, she came. I gave her two turkeys and like 10 chickens to put in the freezer, uh, free up some space. Um, she has two freezers. They're not going moose hunting this year, so she won't need space for a moose.
Okay.
Uh, I might, so I need to find a solution for that problem. A third freezer is getting kind of expensive, especially nowadays with everything going up. My budget is very, very, very limited. Uh, Kristen was supposed to come this weekend, spend some time with me on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
show proper ways of pressure canning because I want to have someone here to show me.
Yeah, it's the best
Fortunately,
way.
something came up. She can't make it, so it will be another week or two before she can come. So until then, I have to find some different options. So you can make zucchini bacon. Hmm. You will need to be more specific. All I could see was zucchini and bacon. Both sounds delicious, but I'm guessing there's a specific way to cook it. Three squash I picked last week are the only ones I got this year. Oh wow! And you aren't big fans. You mostly bake with it. So yeah, I think let me check. Probably around 50 squash by now. 68 squash total. I'm guessing out of those 68, there's
Yeah, well,
60 that
he has to
are.
have the space to
Oh,
live. Sorry.
yeah, freezer would take space also. You slice zoogs and make bacon.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you simply slice them and fry them in the pan or something with butter or
Bacon grease.
yeah, would you smoke them or I'm guessing it's probably not something you can smoke. And yeah, the thing about the freezer is I don't have any space. I could probably fit something behind me. Maybe I could fit one back there, but I would need to remove all this here and bring that up. And I would have like my spare computer way up there, and it wouldn't make any sense. Beside that, there's not many space unless I could. Yeah, even below the stairs, under the stairs, I don't think it would fit. Liquid smoke.
Okay.
You seem to
Flavor.
know what that
Flavor.
means. Ah,
It's kind of a flavor,
okay.
I think. How do you make bacon from zucchini when bacon is no good?
So
Wow.
good.
It's so good. Okay.
But if you could use the zucchini to make something that's half as good as bacon, it's all worth it. To that point, it's worth it. Just buy a new house. Um, I wish I could. I have tried. I need to sell this house, and I'm so much deep into debts that the price I need to sell this, I mean, I can't go lower than what I'm asking for. And I had an offer on the house, but I didn't have anything in mind, or I didn't see anything that I liked that I could afford that I would fit my whole family in. The two girls said it was okay if we moved, that they would be in the same bedroom. Um, there's I don't need six or seven bedrooms, but I would definitely need at least four, and the possibility of making a fifth one. And I couldn't find anything, and the realtor told me that if I accept the offer, I would have 2 months to move out. So that would give me 2 months to move all my animals, to find a house, move my animals, move all my furniture, like get the kids ready, like new school, not a new school, but I mean new bus. And it was just like there's no way that I'm taking that risk with my family, because if I can't find anything, where am I gonna go? So I told him, as long as I don't find anything for sure, I'm not gonna sell. You would no see the difference. You would not see the difference. Okay, so I guess I have to find. Is it like a liquid that you can buy at the store, like a bottle of something, or
I don't know where.
here? Yeah, I was looking for a deep freezer spot. Yeah,
Don't you have a space in your garage? Do you have electricity in your garage?
I do, but there's so many mice. Like there's so much rodents in there. Like I had a weasel a couple of years back. I have rats.
Well, they don't enter in the freezer. It's shut, close, shut.
I don't know. Would it be like I know, of course, in the winter you just need to unplug it and let it run out of the cold, but I don't know. It might be hard to make it work, so I don't know.
Okay, maybe just a temporary freezer. You empty it first and keep the
Yeah,
one inside.
that could be an option too. But by the time it gets to the point where I need a third, like, well, I would need a third freezer now, so I can't really say that. But by the time, at least, if I could have the freezer not emptied, but more space in the freezer by the time I go hunting, I'd be all right, because I plan on canning a lot of meat. Plus, we eat at least one chicken per week. There's
Yeah,
going to be a
you can
turkey.
keep those freezer anywhere.
Uh,
Stop filling these freezer and start eating it.
yeah, we are eating a bunch of stuff. Like, I mean, I know even if I get 100 pounds of potatoes, there's going to be at least 40 pounds of those potatoes that are going to go into like immediate meals. Same thing with carrots. Last year, I froze about 100 pounds of carrots. Within a month and a half, there was none left. You can find it at grocery stores and, of course, Amazon. Liquid
Okay.
smoke. I'll need to check for that. The link is up if any one of you want to join us. Just a casual night talking about squash.
You don't
My
have to have
lending,
it. It's just
yeah, you don't need to have the shirt.
no,
You're
no,
part
it's
of the
not
group.
a
Yeah.
publicity. No, no. Hey, Krabby, how are you?
Hello, Kirby the Beagle. Thank you for dropping by. We're talking about squash. So, do you have anything specific regarding squash, maybe then you want to talk about?
Other than I don't won't have much this year.
Well, a pumpkin is a squash. You
Well,
probably.
yeah, pumpkin. I don't think I will have pumpkin this year.
Oh no,
No,
not enough
they
heat.
they start too late to bloom, and
Hmm.
I
That's
I had I have zucchini right now. I eat it pretty much straight for now. I did not freeze any for now.
okay.
Um, but
Hello, BB
I had a
Robin.
lot of pumpkins last year, like I showed you this week.
Yeah, you still have a couple left from last year.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to show.
Oh,
Well,
Dave.
I'm gonna get it. Hello, Dave. Just harvest squash today. More coming. Yeah, same here. I have some that I think are spaghetti king squash that I received. I don't remember who it was from. It was in the seed exchange challenge at the beginning of the season. They're like that big, and one in the garden started turning orange. So I didn't think it was a pumpkin, but now it really looks like a perfect hybrid between a pumpkin and a spaghetti squash, except it's a bit bigger than a spaghetti squash.
Well, there's a lot of squash out there, all form, all size.
Yeah, well, there's still a couple different growing in the community garden as well. Some I've never seen before. So I just planted a bunch of squash this year. Figured I'm gonna
Mhm.
try and see which ones I can grow. And turns out that the yellow crookneck squash, if that's actually the one I have, I love it. I mean,
And it's a bush one, right? It's not
yeah,
spreading everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
big bush, and I mean, I have like 15 plants in a row, and they each gave me about 5, 6 squash, so that's pretty amazing. Looking forward to pick up the big pumpkins. I hope I get a few. I have a couple growing, but they're just like a little bit bigger than the size of a softball at the moment. And we're about maybe 2 weeks away from the first frost, so I don't know if it's going to make it or not. I have corn that's probably going to make it. It's going to be a tight race, but pumpkins, I don't know. I don't know nothing about squash. Did you eat the one I gave you, Selge? I don't know, okay, pumpkin, perhaps. I'll have to check that one out.
Mm.
Pumpkins were doing great, but now they aren't. I don't think I will have any. Oh no, you know what happened? Or like growing and seeing it grow, but I don't like the taste. I guess not everyone likes it, but there's probably different ways that you can cook it. I would use it pretty much in any kind of meals. Um, I've heard you can make lasagna with zucchinis. You would slice the zucchini and replace the pasta with it.
Yeah, I did that a few times. I think it's better to or remove some water from the zucchinis before,
Okay.
or put like a bread crumble with it so it can absorb the water because the zucchinis is a lot of water and you have
Okay.
a liquid lasagna.
Or maybe even cook it a little bit early and then add the
Yeah,
rest of the stuff
also.
later. I'm trying to put this on squash this year. I hope I like it. Hmm.
I heard it's a little bit like zucchini. I didn't try it yet.
Okay. I was gonna ask what it was, but some hybrids happening. Yeah, and that's the thing about the community garden. I plant a bunch of stuff. The yellow squash I have pretty much all look the same. I have a couple here and there, especially my zucchinis. They kind of look like they were squash, but on the same plant, they seem to be two different kind of zucchinis. So I don't know. I've been growing patty pan for a couple of years. Love them. Okay, so I'm guessing I'm gonna have to check it out then. Yeah, my growing season is really short.
Yep.
We usually can't put anything outside before the beginning of June, and the elderly people will say that they don't plant anything outside before the full moon, which is usually around anywhere between the 10th and the 15th of June.
Yep.
So if you plant something only outside around the 15th of June, it doesn't give you much time because July, August, September, and even by September, sometimes we get some frost. So really, it's like 2 months and a half of good growing season. Although in the last couple of years, it's been a bit better. We've had heat waves in May. Not this year, but last year and the year before. It was kind of weird, but it was pretty amazing for gardening.
Yeah, we got the heat wave in May, but June was cold.
Yeah, I don't remember having a big heat wave here.
But yeah, tonight it's supposed to be 7 here, so around 45 in Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's
It's
fall
getting
is coming.
not yet, so I didn't try it yet. I like our squash light, but orange. Okay. I didn't have any of them, so whatever I have in my garden is not it. But it could be. I'm pretty sure it's an hybrid because I remember someone sending me seeds. Um, have to run. Very busy tomorrow. Thank you for dropping by, Lynn. Talk to you later. I don't know if you're gonna be at the coffee break tomorrow, but show your pet, Marilyn.
Yeah, that's what is trying to do. This is Felix, my kitty.
Is it a big cat?
My skinny cat.
We'll be around 70 here too. It's getting cooler at night for sure. Usually at the end of September, we are hoping to get frost because we want to go. We're moose hunting, and the colder it gets, the better it is for hunting. But the last couple of years, of course, you go hunting and it's so warm that you don't even want to get anything because by the time you get to the butcher, it's pretty much already too late. Cute. Hello, Amanda. How are you? Hope you're doing great. The only cat on TV on National Dog Day. Is it National Dog Day?
I think international. I think even. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've been letting the dog cry in the basement alone tonight. I have a kid that has his birthday in July, one in June, and today is Chloe's birthday. So my girlfriend kind of decided. Well, I wasn't really consulted. Not that I mind, but they had their birthday party, the three of them at the same time, and they all had like anywhere between 5 to 10 friends over. It's been noisy and it's been oof. And the dog is not too good around kids, so we kept the dog downstairs. But as soon as we would go downstairs, she'd be crying to try to go back up. She can't be alone. That's a dog that she just can't be alone. She's really Alexa's dog, and as soon as Alexa leaves for work or when she would leave for school, she would sit in the window and wait for her to get back all day. One of our kids. Cool. August 26th was a
Oh, you do?
popular. So what have you guys been up to this week? How about you, Marilyn?
Oh yeah, you're talking to me. I've been working mostly.
Yeah.
Did film the second part of my garden tour, trying to edit it for one day, and something special. I bought some fruits yesterday at the grocery store, the pears, peach, nectarine, because they're not growing here. So I bought them. They're coming from Ontario. It's the nearest I can have them. So we'll put
Awesome.
them in puree and eat them this winter.
Cool. It's pretty much what I've been up to during the week. Work and then trying to preserve at night. Planting some apple trees. So glad about it. That's awesome. I have one apple tree, and from what Marilyn told me, it's getting fungus on it. So I wanted to ask you. You said the apples were still edible. They really
Yes.
don't look appetizing. Um, if I don't treat it, is it going to come back the same way next year? Is it just the apples itself, like the fruit itself, that got the fungus, or is it the tree that's infected?
Try, I think, I'm not an expert, but try to rake the leaves this fall
Okay,
and put them away. Don't compost them, anything, just put them away.
I'll burn them.
Yeah. And when I sent you the information I read, it was mostly because of a cold and humid spring
Okay,
that we had. And if it's hotter and drier,
it could go away.
yeah.
So
But
whenever we had hot
the
temperature,
treatment, I don't know. I don't treat my trees. They have it. Okay, I deal with it. I don't care.
and then the next year they don't.
I saw one of my apple trees was really in a bad shape last the last couple years, and he had those spots on the
Brown.
leaves and not producing apples at all. It was really bad shape. And last fall, I dumped a lot of compost or rabbit manure on it because I wanted to do a asparagus bed around there, and I dumped everything on it. This year, it's green, it's having new shoots, and yes, he has some spotted leaves, but really not much.
Okay, maybe it's
He fight it.
like something. Yeah. So I have some rabbit manure around here. So I'm gonna get that fixed. I'm gonna try it anyway. Few apple trees did not produce much. I have 4 apple trees here right now on my property, but 3 of them are very young and are not producing yet. I have one that produced about 50 pounds last year, but my main apple harvests usually come from when I go bird hunting, grouse hunting,
Hmm.
and like I said earlier, I want to go. Bear hunting season starts in a week, and last year in October we found a few golden delicious apple trees, and they were out of apples. So it's either the apples fell because they were past due, or a bear ate them all. So either way, my plan is to go early this year, beginning of September, at the time where I can have my rifle, because I don't want to venture alone in the woods,
Hmm.
or even with the kids, in bear territory without a gun. That's not gonna happen. And since I have my license, and since I plan on eating the bear if I get one, I will go and check them out. At least it'll give me an idea of what kind of apples I'm gonna get. And if things go according to plan, if I get at least half of what I got last year, it should be a very very interesting harvest for sure. Hello, Homesteading Hustle. Thank you very much for dropping by. I would love to have some bear meat. I've never tried. That's why I want to try. My deceased friend passed away last November. Was a huge bear hunter, and he's the one that told me that the meat was actually pretty good. He would do a lot of grinded meat and do a lot of hamburgers. And he
Yeah.
said at least you cook
The
it
only
well.
time I ate bear meat was in a fondue.
Okay,
It was
that
good.
might be pretty good too. It's good but strong. Okay, yeah, I don't mind. Like, I like all kind of meat usually. Good evening, Marshall Warden. Thank you very much for dropping by. We're talking about squash. If you have any squash recipes, any ways to cook them, anything you do with squash, if you've ever had them, squash, zucchinis, pumpkins, don't
Any
hesitate
kind
to
of
shoot.
squash.
Uh,
Any kind of squash.
yeah, great well meat for sure. Right on, and that's it. So I'm going to be able to go and check out all the apples. There's so many wild apple trees around here, all the way in my village. If you go from one end to another, it's like 17 kilometers, and there's apple trees everywhere, like both sides of the road. If you take the ATV trails, you'll see apple trees every 5-10 minutes on your way up.
I
You
know
don't go
squash
far.
and apple soup is good.
Yeah,
The two together, it's really good.
okay. But I'm guessing squash can't be that bad in soup, regardless what kind of squash it is.
No.
Last year, I added some zucchinis in my chicken broth. I told my parents I was going to do the chicken broth for Christmas, since my mom was working, and I said I'll take care of it this year. Like they usually, either my brother and his girlfriend or my parents take care of all the Thanksgiving dinner. So I figured this year I was going to do the Christmas dinner. We usually eat chicken broth. So I had my own chickens here, of course. Um, I had a few carrots aside. I added a couple of beans, and I added some zucchinis. And nobody even notices zucchinis. You don't taste them; they just add more vitamins, I guess.
It's a filler.
Yeah, and like my dad is usually very very fussy, and he tried zucchini, and he's like, "Well, it's not that bad." That was raw. He didn't really like it cooked, but at least he tried, and he said it wasn't that bad. So it's kind of a victory in my head. I think it was last week on a side subject here. I don't remember if it was on my live stream or on someone else's live stream. I had Cosmic Cultivators, Chris and Gina, asking about potatoes. And I told them that I was going to get talk with my dad because when I was younger, I remember I was maybe 5-6 years old. We go over at my grandfather's place. He had a big field of potatoes, and they would grow potatoes for pretty much the whole family. And I mean, there were 9 kids. I had 8 aunts and uncles, so the 9 of them, and plus my grandparents, and they had pretty much potatoes for each and every one of them. So I was wondering, like, if they had any old tricks for growing potatoes, and well, I I got my answer. It's not really something that we. How can I say that? It's not really the answer I was looking for. It's not the answer I was hoping for, but regardless, my dad said that they had a guy coming over with a tractor of some sort with something to put the potato seeds automatically in the whole field, and then they would just make sure that there would always be soil on top of the potatoes. They would put more soil on
Mhm.
top. I asked my dad if there was any tricks or tips he could give me. He said they would they would kill the bugs with what's it called now? In French, it's called the la chaux. In English, it's the
Lime?
yeah, I think that's what it's called. The white powder they would put on the soccer field back in the days to make the lines. It's lime, right?
I think so.
Okay, so yeah, they would put lime on the potatoes to kill the bugs. And I asked him after everything was done how they would take care of the soil, and he said, "Well, back in the days, like they didn't really care about the organic stuff, and they didn't really know about the organic stuff, so they would put a bunch of chemical um, fertilizer." So it's not really the answer we were looking for, but that's what they used to do. So there's no secret to potatoes. You just plant them and you let them grow, and you put soil on top as much as you can.
Mm.
Lime is killed to kill the slugs too. Okay. Potatoes, carrots, and squash cooked with roast beef on a wood stove. Oh man, that must be good. So would you cook the squash the same way you would cook your carrots and potatoes? Like you would boil them in water, or even just like a stew maybe?
This summer, the zucchinis we eat them often on the grill. Just cut them in half, put
Okay.
salt on them, and on the grill. So good.
Nice. Lime, yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's all my grandfather used to do, and they would grow a bunch of potatoes. Um, hello, gathered together homestead. Is it Glenn or Jessica or the both of you? Thank you very much for dropping by. Once again, we're talking about squash, looking for recipes, looking for different ways to cook them. A lot of
Sorry.
ideas. You get it?
Yeah.
Glenn. All right, welcome, Glenn. So I ended up with about 100 pounds of squash. I had about 65, I think as I said. Some of them were cooked already. Some of them were eaten raw. I fried some. I cooked some in the oven with amber cheese, salt, pepper, garlic, spice, and stuff like that there. But I'm kind of running out of ideas. And okay, have you tried sweet bread with them? With the squash? I've tried zucchini bread. I've never tried squash bread. I guess I could always look on. I mean, I could always go and look on Google and find different ways, but I prefer having
You
someone
could
that's
make pie. It's not something we eat often here, but
yeah, it's not something that has a sweet taste.
I
A lot
don't
of
know.
people
Well, for
add
sure
sugar.
in the pie they add sugar. I never tried one.
Mosquitoes troubling.
Yeah, it's not normal at this period of the year.
Freeze dry. I don't have a freeze dryer, but dehydrated. Marilyn said something about that. Use as chips with vegetable dip. Okay, so I guess I really have to try that out. I have a dehydrator, so do you just cut the squash in thin slice?
Yeah,
Okay,
put some oil on it.
like vegetable oil or olive oil, preferably.
Yeah, or yellow one.
Okay, pumpkin works, so I can imagine other squash would. Awesome, and just for the people who just came in, yeah, I have two freezers, and when I was blanching my beans, was it yesterday or the day before? I couldn't even close my freezer, so I had to call my mom to come over because I was in the middle of everything and ask her to go in the freezer and get a couple of turkeys and chickens and bring it over to her place to give me some space for a few weeks at least until I can start canning and because right now I don't have time. I'm not home full time. I'm at work. So hello, Lois. Hope everything's going right on your end. Pie pumpkins, pumpkin pies for sure. All right, so I guess I have to try that out. Slices, yeah, I'm gonna try that too. Uh, Squash and zucchinis, do they pretty much have to go the same amount of time on the dehydrator? I'm guessing
Squash
about
is
6 hours.
longer to cook. Well, with the squash, how longer to cook?
Okay.
I don't know.
And you put the silicone tray or just like the regular
Well, I
tray?
never tried it myself, but on for zucchini, yeah, I would put the silicone or parchment paper.
Squash pies better than pumpkin pies. Okay, so I will definitely have to try that. I love pies. Some are higher water content, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe just let it rest over a colander for a bit to rid the water if needed. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. Everything is good. Yeah, I love squash. All different ways you can imagine. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like whatever I try.
I
It's
do
pretty.
with the squash or gnocchi. I don't know if you remember that. It's pasta with squash in it. Normally, gnocchi are done with potatoes, but I use squash instead.
Okay. Yeah, they seem to have like a little more watery texture than
Mhm.
potatoes, but
Yeah,
with the
there's no starch in it. So.
yeah, and you can eat the skin. So with the skin, it seems to give it different texture. I'm gonna try different ways and see. I'm gonna experiment. Like I know I'm gonna eat it, even if I fail my recipe, and even if it tastes awful, I'm gonna eat it regardless. Um, Looking at my merch store, and the topic is fitting. Yeah, it's just that the first thing I had was my logo, and I had Redbubble for my merch shop, and I think at some point we were talking, and I don't know if it was Patrick that said something about just squash it, or in squash we trust, or maybe it was even Rand's Homestead that said something about that. And I figured I'm gonna go and do a T-shirt, and it's kind of an inside story between a bunch of us, and in the merch store that YouTube allows me to have, it's what's it called, Spread Shop. For some reason they didn't allow my logo, the format I had, so I need to go and change the format to had it, but I just don't have time to do it. Like, I mean, I'm more focused on harvesting and preserving at the moment, so as soon as I have time, probably in the winter, I'm gonna go and do some more designs. I love to just squash it. I plan to order a hoodie. Awesome, thank you very much. That would be awesome. um, yeah, some people prefer just squash it, and some people like me, squash we
I
trust.
just squash it.
And I think I sold two or three of each, which is pretty cool. And I also know that sometimes I don't know if Redbubble does it, but sometimes I'll receive emails from Spreadshop saying that it's free shipping or no taxes, or you save 10%, or I don't know. They always have some.
Yeah, this week was like 25% off on stickers or something like that.
Okay, possible. That's so great. And for those of you who don't know where the squash came from, um, it's just that we used to have those roundtable discussion. Darren from Thorhaven Farm, Chris from Hickory Croft Farm, and Mike from Me and New Acres, and myself, where we would discuss different subject, like every second week on all of our different channels. And Chris, which is a really smart guy, I mean, it's no
Yeah.
disrespect. Like, I mean, I really believe that he's a very smart man. He's a really nice person, really good people. We had a chance to meet them, to go over, visit their homestead. They're awesome people. Um, but Chris has a video somewhere where he talks about squash, and I kind of get where he comes from because I think he's a is he a biologist or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
something like that. And
sounds like it.
yeah, and the way that he thinks about squash is pretty much the vegetable that's going to save the world. And the way that he talks about squash, he's so passionate about it that we kind of started teasing him a little bit with it, and then it just kind of became a thing where it was I think it was on Stephanie's birthday, and they said whenever someone's going to talk about squash, Chris is going to take a drink, and whenever someone's going to say happy birthday to Steph, she would have to take a drink. And then we started doing the game with them, and it kind of stayed. So now, I mean, in theory, I should have a few drinks, but I'm almost out of wine. But that's pretty much where the story came from. And then we just kept talking about squash. And I think he kind of got to me because I just love squash too. So, and yeah, I think the idea behind it is that you can simply buy a pack of seeds for like $2. You'll have about 20 seeds. Chances are out of those 20 seeds, you'll have at least 15 plants growing.
Hmm.
And out of each of those 15 plants, if things go well, and they're pretty easy to grow, you should get anywhere between 4 and 10 squash, depending on your growing season time.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I have 65 squash, and out of those 65, I think I had about at least 50 that were crookneck squash, and I had about 10 plants. So that's 5 squash per plants. And every squash will give you a bunch of seeds. You can harvest the seeds for the following year, plant them again, and get some more squash. And you get about anywhere between 1 and 3 pounds per squash, which is a lot of food when you come to think about it. So I think that's
There's a story. I think it's more in the south of USA. The people this time of year must lock their car doors because people just put zucchinis in the cars because they have too much of them. So if you don't want zucchinis in your car, you have to lock all the doors.
I would leave my doors open. I don't mind. Well, there's always some people that are they have that has bad intentions, so you never know what they can put in the squash. But like, I mean, I wouldn't mind if someone wants to give me some squash or zucchinis. I'm fine. I'll
You'll
find a
turn
way to
into
prepare them.
squash.
Yeah. I was looking on the counter the other night, and there was like maybe like 30 squash, all um, corded one over the other. And my girlfriend looks at me and she's like, "I think you have a problem."
Squash
I'm
Anonymous.
like, yeah, I don't have space to put them. No, like you have a problem with squash. All right.
But did you try to because do they have a thick uh, pelure?
Um, Not that much. No, it's pretty thin. Like
Because
the
did you try to get one to stay longer on the shelves?
I have a couple right now. Like the spaghetti squash has been they've been there for
Yeah,
about
this
a
one
week
is a
now.
winter squash, so it will be all
Yeah,
right.
it can last longer. But the summer
Yeah.
squash I have, I think the longest I had them was about a week, and you could feel them getting like more mushy and softer. So I had to
Okay.
cut them and put them in the freezer. Picking zucchini. Hmm.
Pickling. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've never tried. I'm guessing those probably need to be pressure canned.
No,
And
I think pickling is
oh, with vinegar maybe.
uh, do you speak with like for with salt water? It's not water based, not it's fermented.
Oh, fermented,
Yeah,
refrigerated.
yeah, fermented.
Mm, okay. No, I've never tried. I can go ahead and read on that as well. Wrap squash in tin foil and put on exhaust manifold while traveling. Mm,
Why not?
yeah. I don't know if that would work, but it's another way, I guess. um, last weekend I went hazelnut, Long Beach hazelnut harvesting.
Okay.
Been asking me for a couple of seeds.
Uh-huh.
They're pretty rare this year.
Oh,
The ones I found, I went to the same spot I went a couple of years back, and I had a lot of them. Like could, I filled two of those 55 pounds feed bags. I filled two like that in no time a couple of years back.
okay.
This year, I had a 5 gallon bucket, and I had about this on the bottom that was full.
Okay.
They're pretty big, and usually at this time of year, we're just starting to pick them up. But like last week, it was time that we would pick them up because they were falling from the trees. They were ready,
Okay.
picked up. They were like they had this little red. Um, I don't know what it's called there. The green part of the envelope, maybe the
Mhm.
envelope was getting red. So usually when that happens, you just take the nuts and open it, and the shell falls off. And they seem to be pretty big. They were bigger than usual, so I'm just glad we could get a couple. I started the video on it. I'm gonna have to finish it. That might also be a Shed Wars video. I don't know. Um, it's not really something that there's a lot to teach. It's just go out, get them. That's pretty much it. Just do a pickling brine jar for refrigerator. I could do that also. Um, I wonder if I just simply like vacuum seal them and just put them in the fridge, not freezing them. But I guess if you do that, um, they tend to last longer. I did the same thing with carrots last year. Like you can have carrots in the fridge. After a week or two, they start to get like all mushy and soft. Um, but I put them in a vacuum seal, and after 2 3 weeks, they were still as good as new. So I'm guessing you might probably be able to do the same thing with squash as well.
Maybe.
So I have the link up there if anyone wants to come say hi. Just make sure I see your face when you come in.
Um. Yeah. Well, if you still have still want to ship me some hazelnut.
The seeds.
Yeah. Well, your choice.
Well, it would be just the shell and the nut, basically.
Yeah, just the round.
That's what would sprout. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if the like what I was talking about the big bags I had. There was a couple left on the bottom, and it spent the winter in the garage. And when I wanted to empty the bag to see what it looked like in the spring, they were all sprouted. I
Mm-hmm.
threw them in the back of my property, but I don't think that none of them started growing. So they sprouted, but that's pretty much it. They died after. I'm just wondering how many you would need, though. Like, I don't mind sending some over.
Oh, as much as you want.
Yeah, they might take a while to grow. You
Oh
can
well, I have time, and
there's
those are
none growing at
this
all.
year. I think they are 2 years old. I grew them from seeds. Yeah, they're nice looking little plant.
Nice.
I just want more.
Okay, well I'll see what I can do. If the kids don't eat them all, there might be a
Yeah,
couple. The only
think of
issue we
yourself before.
uh
Think of yourself before.
yeah, I know, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with grabbing a few and putting them in an envelope and sending them over. Worst comes to worst, I'll go and buy a bag from someone selling them on the side of the road and eat a couple and send you a couple. The only issue we have lately in the last couple of years, they seem to have a lot of worms in them.
Mm,
Something we didn't have before. Like I remember, my parents would go and um, like harvest a couple of big bags there that have like um, 7, 8 bags, and I don't remember seeing worms. And now in the last 3, 4, 5 years, if you like, you can't go anywhere without finding a couple with worms, and you see the hole. Like they dig a
yeah.
hole in the nut in the shell, and they go in and they eat everything inside, and then you come to try to eat it and there's a worm. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know what they are, but it's disgusting. uh, so what's the plan for the weekend?
I have a bread rising right now for tomorrow
Oh,
morning. The fruits I have to make in puree, cleaning the rabbits again, and finishing editing and relaxing a bit before next Monday.
awesome. Yeah,
How about you?
relaxing is always a good option. um Tomorrow morning, I don't know if I'm gonna go straight to the community garden, drink my coffee there. um it's fun. Like, I mean, you just go there, you sit, and even if it's not all my garden, just to see everything, it's
Hmm.
like a paradise. Big field, apple trees on the left, like a big field behind the garden. I have a scarecrow that scares the hell out of me whenever I go there, but I don't I don't know. For some reason, I'm down harvesting some stuff, and I always see that thing from the corner of my eye, and I'm like, "Who's there?" Oh, scarecrow again. Like, I don't know. But anyway, just to sit there, drink my coffee when it's nice out. Like, there's no better feeling. I have a couple of rabbits to harvest as well, because I have seven of them that are on the grass right now, but they're not growing fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to put them in cages and see which one of them like eats more, because there's always one that eats more than the others. So I'm gonna separate them. Plus, they're at an age where they can start breeding, and I don't want them to interbreed between each other if it's already too late. But yeah, I'll give them feed and see which one eats the most, and that will give. In order to give them space, I have to harvest a couple of the big ones that I already have in the cages. Hello,
Nice.
hello, Cosmic Cultivators. Thank you very much for dropping by. You guys are going live tonight. Usually going later on. Uh, by the time you guys go on, it's the morning for me. So, hello, Chris and Gina, both of you. I send the information to Gina, but I said what my dad told me earlier about the potatoes. Basically, back in the days, they didn't really care about the chemical fertilizer. That's what they would add to the garden. All right, tomorrow night. Okay, yeah, Saturday nights. So usually, I think on the Fridays will be karaoke night if there's someone doing it, but I don't think there was anyone doing it tonight. Hello, Mike Caveman Savage. Thank you very much for dropping by. Saturday night. All right. I think it's is it 10 p.m. Central Time? I think you usually go around midnight my time. Yeah, same here. I try to go organic or natural, but that's what my dad was saying back in the days. They didn't know better, so they would just put whatever they had on hand. You're welcome. And yeah, the subject tonight was squash. And we were trying to find different ways to cook the squash. If you have um, anything different ways of cooking them or preserving them.
I'm sure you could do squash smoothies.
Yeah, probably. Maybe more zucchinis would work a little bit more. Yeah, spaghetti squash. I think it's nightbread from the seed exchange that we got at the beginning of spring. Whoever sent them to me said that they were spaghetti king squash. I think it was a mix between king pumpkins and spaghetti squash, and it kind of became an hybrid. So I don't know if they succeeded in creating the perfect hybrid, but I have a couple that are like very big, like 3-4 pounds. That's awesome. Squash noodles.
Mm.
Yeah. If it was just me, I would eat that every day. For some reason, the kids don't like it. I don't understand. Like, it doesn't have a strong taste. It's not a really pronounced taste. It's not like if you're eating like spaghetti sauce, you can taste the sauce. You'll taste it. But when you eat squash or even zucchini, it's like you're eating something with water. It's pretty much, I don't know. Preserving the harvest live. Awesome. And you guys are going 9 p.m., so that would be 9 p.m. Central Time. So 10 p.m. on Eastern Time and 11 p.m. my time. So I'll see how the day's going. If I'm not too tired, I still have to find my girlfriend and spend some time with her. I would love to be able to catch on one of your live stream at some point, because you guys, if you go for 6 hours, it means you have a lot of stuff to say, because I've been on for about an hour and I'm kind of running out of ideas right now. Gonna make zucchini bread now. Have a great weekend. All right. Thank you very much for dropping by. Giant pumpkin cross. It's getting big. Awesome. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so that would be 10 p.m. my time. So I can definitely make it for a while, at least. And once I'm sitting here with a glass of wine, I can last a couple of more hours. The way I do zucchini noodles, they turn out nice.
Mm.
Okay, so 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So Cosmic Cultivators is going live tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So if anyone on here has nothing to do tomorrow night, or even if you have something to do and you want to go check them out, they're amazing. They're awesome people. And yeah, I vouch for them. I'm missing squash already, and we are still harvesting zucchini, but really missing winter squash already.
I don't understand this one.
Did you already harvest all the squash you intended on growing, and you're out of them already? You eat them all? That's what I'm understanding from this. We basically sit around, hang out with people, and talk about what we have done this week while we preserve the harvest, canning things, creating delicious food. Cool. Yeah, Chris is a chef, if I'm not mistaken. So he knows a lot of recipes. He has a lot of recipes on his channel, and he told me there's a playlist he told me to go check out. I don't remember if it was just cooking or if it was cooking something.
Yes, I put it on one of your lives.
Yeah, I have it in my my saved list. I have to go check it out, but I don't have time to watch anything at the moment. Just a big hangout session with friends. That's awesome. That's the best. I mean, it's like sitting around a fire, except you're a little bit further away. But once you start chatting, you don't see the difference. Chris and Gina, the link is up there, the StreamYard link. If you want to come join, say hi for a couple of
Yeah,
minutes, or present
you
yourself.
need a bigger talker than me.
Yeah, you can come and promote your channel if you want. I have frozen cooked winter squash. Cool.
Me too.
We have butter stick squash going. Nice. I don't think I have any of those kind here. Anything that takes too long to grow here is a no-go. 15-year chef. That's awesome. Winter's coming. That's when we all watch each other's videos. Gardener's life. Yeah. It's the first year that I actually run out of time to watch the videos. Like last year, I wasn't as worried or as rushed to do things than I am this year. There's not only Shadow Wars, but there's also the stress maybe of the inflation, everything going up. The cost of life is going up like crazy. I feel some extra pressure to perform in the garden area, and yeah, it's just nonstop. Like I get up at 5, 6 in the morning, pretty much every morning, especially on the weekends, and I go to bed around 11, 12 at night, and I basically don't stop.
Mm.
So I'm just wondering, like, are people going to watch the older videos during the summer, like the older videos, and I mean in the fall? Are you guys going to watch the earlier videos from early in the summer, or is everyone just going to catch up at where we start watching videos now? This is where we try to get caught up on. I'm just wondering what kind of videos I'm going to have to make in the fall. Should I do like how can I say that? Like a video showing what I did in the summer, or just keep on going with the fall and what I do in the fall and the beginning of the winter and so on. We only got 4 candy roaster, and I have 1 itty bitty butternut. This week we had more time to plant more. I still have 2 of the 3 candy roaster left. So what's your first frost date, Gina? You guys probably have better temperature than what we have here. Next summer the garden might get huge. We might be renting a garden space, but I don't know yet. Might be a bit too much. It depends what you grow.
Yeah,
My goal this year was to plant like carrots and squash at the community garden, because I know those things don't need a lot of attention. Just need to go water them maybe every second week. And it's been raining like on a constant schedule this year. I didn't have to water at all.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like next year, it will be a little bigger, but with a lot less of
The stuff that needs a lot of.
tomatoes and things like that that need a lot of care. So
I think it would. Yes, I know that comment was not intended for me, but I can't understand why communities don't do that. Like even if you live in a town, in a city, I mean, you have parks in the middle of nowhere where there's nothing growing, there's nothing at all. Why can't, like, even if they had a few raised garden beds and had a few things, like there's so many people that struggle to eat. Like food is going up like crazy. Plant a few apple trees on the side of the road. Plant some strawberries. Like I mean, even if they spread, so what? It's food. Seems like we work harder on weekends. Yeah, especially when you have a full-time job. Like I work from 8 to 4 in the morning. I don't really have time to do much. Basically, it's just like getting my videos ready sometimes, uploading so I can create a thumbnail on my breaks at work and like setting the titles and stuff. But I do most of the stuff when I get home. I try to get supper in my belly, and then it's just go, go, go until I'm too tired and decide to go to bed.
Mm.
Oh yeah, so you join, like you participate in the Southern Hemisphere, or you simply like follow them and join their community, or I mean, so your first frost is October 1st, but usually a lot later than that. Usually, but supposed to be a bad winter. Okay, it would be huge. These skills are ideal to learn now. We are diehard shed warriors. Message is very clear to Gina and I. Self sufficiency.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm not the kind of guy to believe in all those conspiracies, and it's okay if you do. I don't judge. But myself, I tend to just go on and, like, I mean, I go to work, I come back home, I do my things, I take care of my family, and I try not to worry about that kind of stuff. But you can't go on your life this year without knowing or without realizing that the gas is going up, the food is going up. Like, even if it was just for, like, I'm doing it this year for myself, for my family. Like, Shed Wars has given me a nice community, a lot of knowledge, a lot of people I talk to, a lot of friends. Um, but even if it wasn't for Shed Wars, regardless of the numbers I have, regardless of who wins, I'm just so happy to see my numbers and see what I can do and see where I can improve and what I can do better so that next year I can do even better. I don't know if everyone understands what I'm trying to say, but just I'm trying to compete with myself. Basically, that's what it is. Um, I was able to get.
Oh,
Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
yes.
Who's this?
Good what?
Who are you?
Brandon, Brandon, Louis, and my name is blocked by this.
Brandon Looney Tunes. How are you?
Fine. Premiere tomorrow night at 6 p.m.
Sorry, what?
6 p.m. tomorrow night.
Okay.
6 p.m. I changed the time. The time when more people show up.
Okay, so you're going live?
Premiere. They're usually pretty short.
Okay.
I just want to reach 1K,
Okay.
Let me see.
1,000.
Let me see if I can share your channel. Brandon Looney. So you're sitting at 756 right now?
Yes.
That's you? Okay. And what do you do on your channel? Talk about Looney Tunes?
Yes. Next every first Saturday of the month, it's usually Popeye.
Okay.
Shared your channel in the chat. If anyone's interested in Looney Tunes, go ahead.
It's fun.
All
Fun
right. Good
little
luck. All right. So we're going to keep on talking about the homesteading now. All right. people love Looney Tunes. We have a community garden here. If people don't use them, the food bank does. We would be gardening at a farm with tractor, big market garden, prepping garden. Nice. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Do you garden at all, Brendan? You have a garden?
Garden? No.
No? Looney Tunes. All right.
Well, he loves carrots.
Yeah. Thank you for dropping by.
Something to reach 1K.
All right. We're going to try to help you to reach 1K. Thank you very much for dropping by. Take care now.
Okay.
Bye.
Hi.
It's so frustrating that people, especially town officials, don't get it. Our homeless population is rising and we watch people stampeding the food pantries. It would be so easy to give these. Exactly. One of the things I was happy to learn from the community garden is the guy taking care of it. He has like two full aisles. I think they're about 75 feet, if not more. Um, they planted beans, and what they do is whatever they don't use for themselves, they give everything back to um, what they're called, les filles Isabelle. They're like a local. Um, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know what they do. A local group of elderly women that are getting involved in the community, um, like the Legion for the men there. Um, and they get involved in different ways. And I think some of those beans go to them when they make like uh, special suppers, or maybe it even goes to school. So I'm not sure, but it was nice to know that it wasn't going to waste and it was being given away to someone else. People forward and a purpose. Yep. And you could easily give a job to someone, like they could have a grant from government to get someone trying to get like the garden going. And I mean, it's easy. You tell them, okay, you go there, you, even if it's just to water the garden every 2 3 days, go and water everything, do it properly and weed it a little bit if you see some weeds. Of course you need someone that knows what they're doing, because you don't want them to remove like the good
The
stuff.
carrots.
Yeah, but after, like, especially the big, like middle of August or middle of July, you can see what the weeds are. It's easy to show someone these are weeds, remove them. If you see this, you got to remove them. If you see this, let it go. Like, I mean, it'd be pretty easy to get someone to do that job, and it would give a student a job for the summer. What better job can you have than being outside? I mean, might not be able to do only that, but
Yeah, I did that for a whole summer. I was working at the botanical garden for the summer, and my job was weeding. I mean, it's fun, but it gets long.
yeah,
Doing
yeah,
that all day, all summer.
you can do different activities. But I would love to have a job like that. So you're trying to grow food in a greenhouse over winter, so you probably don't get a lot of snow, because here, when
Well,
you
if you're
get
talking
like a
about 4 feet,
snowstorm,
it's not bad.
4 feet of snow. Okay, yeah, it's not as much as we get here. I'm jealous. I wish we only had 4 feet of snow. Um, so yeah, I didn't watch it from Southern Hemisphere last year. I will definitely follow you guys this winter, though. That will be uh, pretty cool. You can join Southern Hemisphere Org as a volunteer from the north and teach people how to grow food year round, even if it's only in your house. Uh,
I don't even grow anything.
well, I did the 7 days to get food with the sprouts last year.
Yeah.
The
So
thing
you
is,
worry that your seedling season.
yeah, that's the thing. Like if I was alone in the house, I could probably do it. But since like I mean, we have 6 rooms and there's 7 of us. I mean, of course, my girlfriend and I sleep in the same room, but we don't have space to grow food in the winter. Um, I could always have a few chickens and a few rabbits, but it's not enough to show. Like I mean, I'm gonna support, I'm gonna follow, and maybe give a few tips here and there. I also want to use this time to rest because whether we like it or not, even if it's fun, like I said, you don't get much sleep when you go all out in an event like that. So I'm gonna take some time to rest. Exactly, every year we are doing better, and we can actually see the numbers. Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to do that from this year to the next. I'll have my document set up for every year, and I'll see where it goes. Oh, yeah, the call. Okay. Hi everyone. I have my phone now. Awesome. And by the way, Wild Edibles, the seeds, the box was sent yesterday. And once again, I'm so sorry that it took so long to send. Um, I have no memory. I would come home, um, be so busy. I had the box here. It was under my books. I took what I needed on the first day that I got the box, and then I figured I was going to go in my bedroom and grab whatever I had that I wanted to give away. Um, so it's going to be pretty easy to see which ones I give away because they're going to be the ones on top. Um, a couple of perennials and a couple of different vegetables as well. Great way to learn. Ken Miss Simmons beside me. That's awesome. I I mean I don't want to say anything. Not that it's bad about my girlfriend, but I wish that she would be more willing to be on my videos and be more involved on YouTube and do more things like that with me. It'd be fun. Like I envy you guys. Like I watch Eric and Ariel from the Simple Living Alaska. I watch even Chris and Gina, Cosmic Cultivators. You guys work so well together. I mean, that's awesome. I wish I had that. My girlfriend helped me this whole week, cutting, blanching, freezing, doing that stuff. She just doesn't want to be on camera. I gotta respect that, but I mean, I wish she was there with me when I do the videos. We have wood stove and currently hooking up electricity for some grow light. We at least try. Well, that's pretty cool. And I mean, you could just have a little greenhouse in the basement and have plenty of vegetables growing in there. Of course, you probably wouldn't get the same amount of food that you can get in the summer, but you can still grow pretty much. Like especially with tomatoes, peppers. A couple of years back, I bought those. They were growing bags from Dollar Store, or in the states it'd be Dollar Tree, where you would hang them up next to a window, and it would grow upside down. And I planted a couple of tiny Tim tomatoes in there, and they would come out of the bucket there and grow like this. And they were in the front window, just on top of a heater, and it was enough to have tiny Tim tomatoes pretty much all winter long. The plant died when I stopped watering it at some point. I mean, I just forgot about it. I mean, I could have kept on watering and adding some
Yeah.
organic fertilizer, and it would have been fine for a couple of years. So you can probably do the same with peppers and tomatoes and all those kind of fruits, vegetables.
I tried to bring home some peppers a few years ago. It was working great, but the aphids got on them, and I have too many house plants in here to be attacked by aphids, and I just threw them because I tried to remove them, but
Yeah, when they start
nothing worked.
attacking, it's way too much. You need a couple of ladybugs inside to eat
Yeah,
them.
well, in the middle of winter is kind of difficult.
Uh, yeah, you did well to remind me. Um, it is busy, but it's not an excuse. I mean, it should have been out a long time ago, and I feel bad. It's just my brain doesn't work. It doesn't work. As soon as I get home after work, my brain is shut off, and yeah. Um, I mean, I could have all the excuses in the world, but I should have sent it a while back. You don't want to be on a camera, but I will hold. You don't want to be on a video, but we'll hold the camera. Even if it was just that, like, I mean, I would love to have something to do with my girlfriend. Like, it would be an extra activity we would have together.
Hmm?
I wish I could show her how to edit some videos, and on her time off, she would be able to go and. Sorry, I'm just responding to a question from one of the parents of the kid that was here tonight. So yeah, I had about 30 kids here tonight. We celebrated the birthday of the three youngest. They all had their birthday. It's a month apart in the summer, and they all had their friends tonight. So yeah, I was saying that it'd be nice if we could have an extra activity, my girlfriend and I. Um, the kids, except for the oldest, they don't mind being on camera. Like, I mean, Anthony won't come with me and do like videos in the garden and stuff like that. But when we go fishing, when we go hunting, if we go harvesting apples, he loves climbing on the trees, and you know he likes to do those stunts. So in those moments, he doesn't mind being on camera. He's just like, I don't look like to him. He doesn't look like a fool because he's hunting, he's fishing, he's having fun. Um, my oldest won't mind being on camera if she's doing something she likes. When we did the karaoke night a while back, she was singing. She knows that she was going to end up on social media. She didn't mind, but then again, she had a couple of drinks, so
Hmm.
nobody minds when you have a couple of drink. Yeah, mine doesn't either. Yeah, that's an issue we have. As soon as we start getting a little bit older than teenager, as soon as we finish a teenager age, our brain shuts off after work. Well, it was the case for me anyway. I do lots on my own with video, even on Mike's other channel. I do most of the video and editing, but now he's involved more. That's cool. Does your boyfriend help you, Marilyn, or you do pretty much all the editing by yourself?
All by myself. He's not. He's not behind the camera. He's not in front of the camera. He's not editing. I know he's watching, but that's about it. I can film his arms. Sometimes you can see his arms or feet or things like that, but you don't want to have his face on camera.
Yeah, I saw him for the first time when we were over at Darren's.
Yeah.
And he time you. But that's all right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just for me, I would love to have her next to me. That's all. But what are you gonna do? Like, I mean, you can't
Well,
force her, right?
he gives me ideas, and sometimes when he goes for a walk at the beach, he bring his phone and do some video with it, so I can pick them. And
Okay, well, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
I knew everything once, then I turned 14. Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of people. Except for Marilyn. I don't know. She has a big hard drive in her mind. She remembers all the kind of birds and.
oh no, 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 it's because I was in that when I was a kid.
Okay.
The only reason.
Well, I find it amazing when we were going to Ontario, the way that you would see a bird and know precisely what it was, or even the plants. Like, okay, this is this, this is that. I mean, I know I have some knowledge in other areas,
Yeah,
but
that's
I find it pretty neat. It was pretty cool. Uh, so yeah, it even Annie was telling me that when she first started her videos, her husband was doing all the editing,
oh
but
yeah.
since he doesn't understand English as much. He would sometimes cut out parts that he should have, and he
Hmm.
would leave some parts that he should have cut. So I think Annie is doing pretty much everything on her own now. And I know a lot of people that don't even do editing. Like, I mean, Selge doesn't have a very big channel, but he's not doing any editing. There's a question for you, Marilyn.
Where are you? I'm here. I'm right here on my sofa. So no. I'm in northeastern Quebec, and I'm a French speaker. If you didn't understand that yet, um, yeah, I'm in Zone 3B, a little bit colder than Remy.
It is cool. Let me just find your channel here. Post it here.
I'm
This is Marilyn's.
mostly a silent channel because I
Yeah,
want
she
to
has
reach.
something bilingual.
Yeah, I want to reach the English peoples, but as you can hear, I'm not speaking very well in English, so it would be a
You're doing,
boring
I
video.
think you're doing pretty good. I mean, you live in Quebec, in a very, very French
Yeah, so
area.
you,
So if you don't have to speak it very much, you're not going to develop like the fluidity of the language. I'm lucky on that end because I work in a hospital where we have pharmacists that speak English only and some that speak French only. So I have no choice but do both.
hey Michael,
Hi, Michael. Thank you very much for dropping by. We are in Ontario. Awesome. We went back in May at
mm-hmm.
the Eastern Ontario's homesteading conference. I don't know if you were there. I don't know if there's going to be one next year. The one who was doing it this year was kind of tired at the end, and there was a lot of work for only one person. We are hoping that it's going to be able to continue because it was an amazing experience. We got to meet a bunch of people here.
Yeah,
Spent time with Mike and Angie from Me and You Acres, Darren and Brigitte from Thorhaven Farm. We met Chris and Steph from Hickory Croft Farm, Annie from Back to Basics Homestead. Patrick was there. Lynn from Bucket List Homestead was there. Marilyn and I were there. Um, there was so many great people out there that we met. Like, I mean, we even met Plowman's Backyard. So many great channels, so many great people. I mean, it's something that I'm really hoping to do again next year. We are up north on Ontario eastern side of Algonquin Park.
I
I don't know
never
Ontario
enjoyed
very
that.
much. I
Yeah, I
wouldn't know
can
what
check it
that
out.
is. Yeah, I would have to Google it to see where it is.
Yeah,
Hello again, Michael, and hello, Caitlin's Family Farmstead. Thank you very
hi.
much for dropping by. You're doing great, but I'm used to hearing it. Can't speak it, but I can understand some.
Oh,
Okay. The way Marilyn has her videos is she will show what she's doing and have like little titles in French and English on the bottom, which is pretty easy to understand and follow.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, honestly, I go on it and I read everything in English, so I don't know. It's come to the point where I'm French, but I like following stuff in English. Hello, hello. It's cool you're bilingual, Rem. Yeah, well, that's what happens. I'm in a province that's officially the only bilingual province in Canada,
Yeah,
and I was raised in a French community, um, but the area itself, like the county we're in, is pretty much bilingual. There's like half and half English and French people.
yeah.
when we were younger, there used to be fights between like the English and French school. Uh, but, I mean, you
think
grow
they're
up and start
still.
working together, so you have to learn, right? So I remember there was this one year that I was working at the library, and I didn't really have any other choice than to speak English, and that's kind of how I, started to just okay, let's go, and I'm gonna do it. And there's still some words that I'm struggling to find sometimes, as you can see. Like I'll try to figure out how to say things and how to do things. When I do some videos, I do the editing. Sometimes I'll just pause and okay, I'll cut this here. Let's find the right word, and then I'll say the sentence again, and do my editing there. Very cool. Yeah, like I mean, parents again. Won't be long.
They lose their kids or what?
Well, it's one of the kid was here. The parents are split up, so
Okay.
she's asking me if her son came after all because it was her his time with this dad. So yeah, he was here asking me if he was being hyper or if he was fine. But I mean, they were all hyper. They ate chips and chocolate and cupcakes, and they drank pops and stuff like that. So it's all good.
It's a party. What do you want to be?
Exactly, exactly. But
Party.
it's funny because there was like the older girls, like they were doing like girly stuff, and at some point I think they might have danced a little bit, and there was like the younger girls that are 2 years younger, and they were doing something totally different, like they were playing hide and seek and stuff like that. And then there was the little boys that were just like playing with all like the Avenger costumes and playing like fighting games and stuff like that. It's funny how everything's so different. Yeah, that's what I told the parent, the kids. I'm gonna get you like high on sugar and send you over to your parents after.
Yeah. A shot of coffee.
Which side did you fight? I wasn't really a fighter, Michael. I remember going down the road to go see what was going on, but usually by the time we got there, the fight was over. Then again, like I used to go in a small town called Dalhousie. That was where my high school was, and it was a street. Going up the street, there was the English school, and then on the same street, there was nothing else on that street but a dead end where our school was. So we were kind of cut out from the rest of the town, and there was two high schools there. So it happened. I mean, there was people fighting in school, and you know what it is, kids, right? And then in Campbellton, another city about 20 minutes on the other way, it was the same thing. They had English and French school. And I remember when I was coaching soccer, I was coaching kids, and I would go to a small convenience store. They had a little canteen there during the summer, or a little takeout maybe it was. I would go there for my lunch break because I was working in town, and I would go outside to leave to go back to work, and there was a bunch of kids there in a circle, and it was fights again, the French against the English people. But then I was older, and I mean, I knew the kids because I was coaching them at soccer, so I was able to go and stop the fights. Like, okay, go back to school, it's over. Like, I've never been the kind of guy to like fights, so.
Yeah.
Teenagers were shaking the apple tree. I bet there's a lot under it now. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I remember like my parents used to go. Not my mom, but my dad. The French and English people would be in the same school, and if I'm not mistaken, my mom was one of the first to switch back to the French only school. So back in the days, they were all together. I mean, there was no fights between the French and English, but at some point they changed school, and when I was a kid, it was the whites fighting the Mexicans. So it's pretty much the same as here, right? I'm weighing them in as I'm using them, but there's so many apples. Wow, awesome. We found a tree on the side of the road in the middle of small road that we're going, like when we go to my new spot where my animals are. Um, I mean, it can go up so fast. We had about 8 apples. It was over 2 pounds. So if I go harvest wild apples, and I mean, like I said, I have 5 kids. They all eat fruits. They all go to school. That's a nice, healthy snack to give them. I eat one as well. My girlfriend eats a couple. We'll do some apple pies. We'll do some what's it called? Apple. Uh, what did you say?
Crisp.
Yeah, apple crisp. Those little. Yeah. I'll do some apple sauce. I'll do some apple leather. It goes up fast. I didn't weigh them last year, but I'm pretty sure. Like I'm saying 100, but it could have been close to 200 or 300 pound of apples I had. If I can get at least 100 pound this year, I'll be all right with that, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get more than that. I grew up in an English area. My parents told me I didn't need to learn French. Our area was like that. Our French teachers gave up.
Hmm.
Well, that
Well,
I get it.
I
Being in
grew up in New Brunswick too, and my place was really French. I know we have an English school, but I don't even know where it is.
yeah,
So
it's like that when you're not used to go out and talk to people in different language. Like I mean, there's no reason for you to go and learn French if it's not a French community.
yeah,
It's, I mean, it makes sense. Like I get why you guys wouldn't mind to forget about the French language. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, like up here, being in an official bilingual province, since I work at the hospital and it's regulated by the
yeah,
government, we need to offer services in both language.
yeah,
So if someone calls at the pharmacy asking questions about a specific patient, I have to be able to serve them in the language of their choice. That's the law here in New Brunswick. Of
yeah.
course, not every government entity follows that law, but you know it's better if you can do it. And when you apply for a job somewhere, you tell them you're bilingual. That's a big plus. We played bingo most days. We were a bad school in French schools. I regret not paying attention where our family leads sometimes. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, you're raised in a certain way, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. And it's not because your parent didn't try; they did what thought was best for you. And like we were talking a couple of weeks back, I was having an argument with one of my coworker, and we were talking about when you're born in a rich family or in a wealthy family, it's easier to have a wealthy job when you get out of university or stuff like that. And she was arguing with me saying that it was not, that everyone is having the same luck and it's up to you to decide what you want to do with your life. I'm like, yeah, it is to a certain point. But someone that was born on welfare, there's not many people coming out of welfare that will go out to university and become doctors.
And no
Someone coming out
family
of,
can help you.
yeah, parents can help you, and
Well, I
chances are
mean,
you're going to be,
if you're in a wealthy family, you know more people that can push some buttons. You know.
yeah, that also. You know, there's people I know that got out of school um, on their graduation day. Their parents gave them a truck, a brand new truck. They built them a brand new house. They give them a job at their company
Hmm.
doing in the 6 digits every year. When the year would end, they would have 6 digits in their account.
Hmm.
It's not, I'm not talking about what they would bring in as a salary. I'm talking about what they would have left at the end of the year. After 2 or 3 years, they would have $300,000-400,000 in their bank account. You can't tell me that I have the same chance as them by being born, my dad had a good job. He was a paper maker at the local mill here, paper making company. But things changed. They brought some machines in, and you know what it is, like the mill. He lost his job back in 1991 or 1992, and back in the days, he was making about $25-26 an hour.
That's good.
It was a pretty good job, and he lost his job, and he ended up working in as a mechanic at the minimum salary, which was about $8-9 an hour back then. So imagine, it was making 25% of the salary he used to make.
Mm.
And I've always said, like, my dad was like, I don't know how he did that. Like, I mean, it's amazing to know that we would still go on vacation every summer. I can't go on vacation this year. I didn't go on vacation last year. I didn't go on vacation the previous year. I have 5 kids. Of course, it costs a lot, but I mean, my dad was able to do that on a minimum salary. Of course, like, life was not as expensive as it is now, but still.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, we weren't born at the same level. Well, when they got out of high school with a brand new house, they didn't have to pay for it. They didn't have to pay for their truck. And they had $100,000 in their bank account every year for doing whatever their dad wanted them to do. I had to go to university, borrow $60,000, pay for my own stuff. I didn't have a car. I had to walk to university. And I don't blame my parents. I don't blame anyone. I'm just saying that some people are born, they're more lucky than others. So all that saying is me, like, all I wanted to say is that, like, wild edibles, don't worry if you can't speak French because of the way your family raised you. It's not nobody's fault. It's just the way that it was. That's the way things were happening back then. That's it. I'm hearing French and trying to find out what you're saying. If you ever learn Spanish, there are some words that are lookalikes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some
Latin language.
Yeah, there's still some words that we'll use in French that are actually English words. But I mean, if I talk about Halloween, even if I say it in French, Halloween, it's the same thing. And if you heard the people from the Moncton Shadiac area, they have like a French slang that you probably understand more than me, because half the words they say is in English.
Mm-hmm.
And they say they speak French. Like, they want to say, I'll go park my car in a parking lot. In French, the right way would be, je vais aller stationner mon auto dans le stationnement. But they will say something like, je vais aller parker mon car dans le parking. But if you hear that, it's easier to understand if you speak English than if you speak French. So I'm dyslexic, so English is hard enough, but maybe French would help me learn language better, maybe not. Yeah, I like Spanish. French is hard to learn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of exceptions. There's a lot of different pronunciations, and especially in writing, there's so many different rules. You put an S on plural, but not always, and then you accord the certain way, but not always. You do this a certain way, but not always, and you have to know all those exceptions. If a certain word comes before, you don't put an S. If it does, you put an S. You put the accent. You don't put the accent.
Or a different one.
Yeah. One like this, 2 dots, like
this.
Yeah. And Italian has similar too, a bit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Don't remember.
I tried to learn the Italian and Spanish at the same time once.
Yeah, I tried Duolingo. Like I was to the point where I was my girlfriend. I was at the point where I was able to say a few sentences in Spanish, not enough to have a conversation. But my friend Neelan that I had on one of my live streams a while back, the one from Cuba, She told me she was going to teach me Spanish, but then again, like our Spanish down there is way different than the real Spanish language. So my high school passed me. Barley, I had no clue. All we did was play bingo, or the class got way too loud. That's often the case when it's a subject that you're not interested in, or if it's something that's too hard. Um, that's what you tend to do. Uh, all right, already 2 hours, and I see less and less people in here. People are not chatting too much, so I'm guessing we are boring. I think almost, I think almost every child was told we didn't need to learn it. Now we have French schools, but still French class and English school. Uh,
Well,
yeah,
I always said that it's not fun, but as a French speaker, we felt the pressure to learn English to be able to get a job. Well, in New Brunswick anyway. In Quebec, it's not the same thing,
yeah.
but
Quebec is
in Brunswick, you
mainly
have
French.
to know English to have a good job.
Yeah, well, English is the universal language in the world.
Yeah,
If you learn French, there's only a few places you can go in the world. If you know English, you can go anywhere in the world. Mostly. I mean, chances are if you go to China, not everyone there understands English. And same thing for countries like maybe Russia or, um, where like in Spain or Portugal, maybe those countries. But there's always someone somewhere that knows English.
yeah,
Both my husband and myself grew up Mennonite. I wish our parents would have taught in Low German, so I would know more. Yeah, I on the Quebec side. The funny thing is, instead of learning English, they learn Spanish.
no, they have English class.
They have English class too.
Yeah,
Because I know a few people from the Quebec side that would know more on about the Spanish language than English.
because they have. It's like us in New Brunswick at the high school. You have the Spanish class if you want, but
Okay,
no, they
maybe.
from think from grade 2 they have English class.
Okay, working, my friend. Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing that. I know Dave Knight was doing the same thing. Patrick stopped talking, so I'm guessing he's probably gone as well.
Mhm.
Dave was doing some canning, I think he said. Knowing more languages is such a good thing.
Yeah.
There's a guy I used to play soccer with. He was from Peru. He was living on the reserve here. He could speak French, English, um, uh, Mi'kmaq, Spanish, Italian, and I think there was a sixth language he could speak. He could fluidly speak six different language. That was like awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're from Peru. Your main language is Spanish, and he was here speaking English and French and fluid in both language.
Enigma.
In
Something.
Mi'kmaq, yeah, he was living on the reserve, so that's a tough language to learn.
Yeah.
In Ontario areas, you need to know both. Ottawa is not the only city. North Bay, Mattawa area is big French areas. Yeah, it's true. Ottawa there's a lot of French people there. But if you know English, people there usually know how to speak English. Small hick towns we speak mostly English. I'm trying to see what that logo represents. Two hearts.
Facing Earth.
Okay. Yeah, on StreamYard it looks like a ring. But then I look there on YouTube and I see the two hearts. Awesome. Uh yeah, so the plan for me tomorrow is to harvest a couple of rabbits. I will go to the community garden. I will take care of my garden back here as well. I might have to dig up a few potatoes. I also need to harvest some radish pods before the bugs eat them all. There was a ladybug eating some little tiny bugs, and it was raining today, so it kind of cleared them out a little bit. I think you can blanch the radish pods too, from what I understand. I
I
might
told
go
you
with.
I blanched nothing.
Uh,
I blanched nothing.
no, you just freeze everything as is.
Yeah.
I find that the frost gets on them right away, and he doesn't have a good taste after. I mean, in
Mhm.
the soup, I would still eat it, but I watch many channels that are not English, and knowing to read people, you can understand a bit. Communications goes beyond language. Yeah, and if you don't follow Little Homestead by the Beach, Marilyn, I suggest you do because, like I was
Yes,
telling you the other day,
following me now.
it's following you now.
Yeah.
What I like about your channel is that you always have a different approach on different kind of things. You show stuff that we don't see on other channels. That's what I like. We have a few weeks left. Chickens and quails tomorrow night.
Mm.
I did my chickens about 3 weeks ago, and my turkeys last week. Quails, I'm still debating. I've heard that they don't really tolerate the cold, so I can't really. I don't think I can keep them in the winter. But then again, I hate having to go and buy new ones every year. Um, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with harvesting them all this year, and maybe buying some new ones next year, and from there, trying to get something more permanent. Um, but yeah, my chickens I started with 25. I ended up with 22. There's always a couple that die, heart attacks, they step on each other or something like that. I mean, the meat chickens, they're stupid. There's no other way to see it. They're just dumb. One of them is drinking water. The other one is going to go and step on his head and drown it. Like, come on. But they were all pretty good size. I had last year I had 6 turkeys. I lost 3. A raccoon got in my coop and killed 3 of them. This year I figured I was going to get 8 to hopefully finish with 4 or 5, and they all survived. They were all very, very healthy. I had an average of 13, 14 pounds on my turkeys, 5 pounds on my chickens, which
Wow.
is what I have. I don't want to have anything bigger because they wouldn't fit in my bags anyway if I had them bigger. The biggest one I had, 14 and a half pounds, I was struggling to fit it in the bag. And the rabbits, the bigger ones are probably close to 5, 6 pounds each. Ones, they're gutted. I don't know. Maryland would know more than me. Like the adult ones, the ones that
Yeah.
are a
So
year
but
old.
it's a good size. Average size, yeah.
Yeah. And it would give me some more cages to put the young ones in those cages and feed them a little bit longer. Lucy needs to hunt
Give them
mink.
apples. They will get bigger.
Yeah. He's getting well, little chicks. Bad mink thing. Hmm. Oh, they can take some cold. A shed or a tarp works to keep them warm and dry enough. The thing is, I have them in my barn. The barn is isolated, um, but it's not heated. So I don't know. Would they survive? I mean, if it gets to minus 40, they won't have any. They won't there won't be any draft on them. They won't
If
get the wind. They won't
no,
get.
don't you want to do something for your rabbits in your garage? Can you just add a cage for some quails to?
I could. I'm just afraid of the noise. I don't know. Like they don't make loud noise, but they still they yell a lot. I don't know. I can try. I can bring them here. Like the cage, I don't think the cage is attached. I could probably bring them here and see from here. Um, yeah, I could probably put them in a corner somewhere. But my garage is not heated as well.
Well,
It would
it's
just have a
protected
tarp.
at least.
Yeah, it might not be as cold as what it would be in the middle of the woods though,
Mhm.
because it would still have a little bit of heat from the house. Yeah, we had a wooden cage of quail in our drafty shed. Is it heated though? Usually rabbits are 5 pounds or so. We have giants and small ones. We just count them as 5 pounds.
Good.
Okay. Um, Quails can handle the barn. Add some hay, piles for them. Okay. Uh, Good to know. No heat. Right on. I might try that. And it's not like they heat a lot. I can just bring a bale of hay down there and put some around. It's going to be a struggle because there's the road that goes to the barn is not going to be open this winter. And when I get back from work, it's going to be dark. I'm not walking in the dark in minus 40 in the snow to go feed the animals. So I'm hoping that I can like overfeed them, like give them like a big bag of feed, and I'm hoping that it's going to last at least a week so that I can go once every weekend and go feed them. At least that's my plan. Dry and draft free areas. All right, I will try that. For water,
Snow.
if you put water outside here, minus 40, it freezes right away. The rabbits, you need to give them water. I will have them here. I can go give them water like regularly. I don't mind. Even snow, like the rabbits will eat snow. Same for chickens. My chickens, I simply give them lots of fluffy snow, and they're fine. They eat snow, and I mean, it's probably not the best. It'd probably be better if I had something to heat the water and keep it warm, like not warm, but keep it from freezing. But
That's what the wild animals do.
yeah,
Grouse and rabbits, and they just eat snow.
exactly. They eat snow, and that's how they stay hydrated. Um, I've had chickens for about 10 years now, and I was never able to give them water in the winter. It was always just snow. So if I can go down there, there's going to be a lot of snow. The worst time is when it gets cold, but not snow. Like in November, that's probably the worst time because if you bring them snow water, it's going to freeze right away, and there's no snow to give them. So that's the worst time of year. All right, so we've been on for about 2 hours. Is there anything else you would like to say before we go?
Not for me. We are eating Putin this weekend.
Awesome. And if someone's not from Canada or if you don't know what a poutine is, it's French fries with cheese and gravy.
Yeah.
Fish tank warmer.
You don't have electricity over there.
Yeah, there's no electricity at the barn. There is here. I purchased a water heater a couple of years back, like a waterer that I could plug and would keep the water from freezing. I filled it like 3 times in a row, and every single time, as soon as I would flip it over to put it in the chicken coop, it would unattach and soak me from head to toe. So when stuff like that happens, since I am a very patient person, I did not take the thing and did not throw it as hard as I could against the wall, and I did not break it. So there's no more waterer. Try to water at least once a day if they have snow. If not a snowy area, we change waterers a few times a day. 40 below is cold, but that's pretty much the coldest it gets.
Yeah.
But it can last for a few weeks, so that's the thing. But if
Well,
we have
not minus 40 for a few weeks, like at least minus 20.
oh no, we've had minus 30s, minus 4, like not below 40, but around 40, like 35 to 40 feels like
Yeah,
we've
with
had that for
with the wind.
weeks. 2-3 weeks a year, usually like at the end of January, beginning of February. All right. Spell correct. It happens. Good night, Michael. Thank you very much for dropping by. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Marilyn, for being with me tonight.
You have to go to sleep.
Our rabbits will chew ice too. Yeah. If you have electricity, I prefer heat plates. Just set your regular water in them. Works well for me. Okay, I might look into that as well. We get a few weeks of that bowl too cold to do anything. Yeah. Take care, Chris and Gina. Thank you very much for dropping by. Wild Edibles. Mike the Caveman, Caitlin, Michael. Thank you very much.
Everyone.
Yeah, I'm probably going to forget someone, but everyone that was here, if anyone watches the replay up to this point, thank you very much. And I will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy.
Bye.